The end of last year was a blur. There was work, running, dinners out, but there was also anxiety, overwhelm, disappointment, relief, anticipation. At the time, everything felt big and urgent, like it would be hard to recover from. But now, a couple of months later, it feels like it was just life doing its thing. November was the gym. Did I do anything else? I don't know. Training for the 10K was all-encompassing. 3 days a week physical therapy, 2 days weight training, somehow also 3 runs. I built up to 5.5 miles, then 6 miles, until I started feeling unwell. I woke up with a scratchy throat the day before Thanksgiving. And it was sore, like a sore, scratchy throat. The week before the race, I could only run 3 miles. I thought, this is it. I'm out. The cold was going to take me down. At the same time, I was finishing up a 12-week gig, working on a project that started as one thing and ended as another. There were conversations that felt like I was being let go, but I know better. The contract was up. As a freelancer, it's a familiar feeling. Nothing is permanent. That's the charm and the skill of it. But it did make me think about where I want to take my business. Do I keep going the way I've been, video editing, brief stints, some copywriting, balancing the ebb and flow? It's not bad. I'm used to it. Procrastinating. But last year, with all the time I took off just asking myself this question, I barely made half of what I made the year before. And I know whatever 2025 holds, it has to be more deliberate, more productive. The interests and the bank account are not aligning. In December, I didn't run the 10K. 2 days before the race, we had to go to Ohio unexpectedly, and that trip felt like relief and family. It was good. I ended up running the distance at a park in the cold by myself. And I was happy about it. More than happy, I was thrilled. Maybe it was always supposed to be a personal victory and not a public one. So we did it after many months and weeks of training. Ran a 10K. Now I'm going to have to deal with the consequences of running 6 miles in 20-degree weather, but it's all good. After Ohio, there was a trip to Atlanta. Everywhere you go, I'll be. Anywhere you go, I'll see. Then a last-minute decision to spend the holiday in Hilton Head. It rained, it was cold, we sat in a hot tub like frogs, ate delicious dinners every night. This is how we live now. It's a furthest sun, the gun done for love. It's a pulse and shove. It's the sharpest cry. The here goes, but why? Where the desperate lie. Far from ever feeling lost with me, I'll push you back towards land and sea. They're going down for love, and love is free. Stick with me and I will guarantee you're never lost. Coming home was hard. Never lost among the crowd with me. We'd left the house a mess. I knew we'd argue because we'd be tired, because the mess was more than just a few things left out, and because it was the end of the year, it made every single thing feel insurmountable. But there was also relief in that last week of the year. some of the things we'd been dreading didn't come to pass, I took the week of New Year's off, so to speak, and started uncluttering the house for real this time. No more arguing, just doing. I've probably spent $1,000 already to make one room look like a catalog. But to a certain extent, that's how we want it. I told Josh this is just our first room, and it made the whole thing feel manageable. I threw away things I didn't want to throw away, things that shouldn't be in the trash, but had to be because it needed to be a clean cut. On New Year's Eve, I was deep into revising my business plan, looking up S-corps and LLCs and reading everything I could. I started investing in courses and frameworks, going all in on some new things. I feel the momentum, and I'm going to be honest, I'm afraid it won't last. So I am setting myself up as best as I can. It's 2025. It's still January. And I've just been thinking a lot the past couple months and still into this year about how I show up in places and where I want to devote my energy and mental space. There is so much clutter, not only on the internet, whatever, but just in real life too. So I think this year, or this last year, 2024, was just kind of a reflection year in many different ways. And I got really inspired at the end of 2025 to just do something different and yet the same. That's not confusing. The past 2 months, November, December were a very reflective period for me, whether I wanted it to be that way or not. We had ideas for how it would go, and it kind of went that way, and it kind of didn't. And it's just with the things that I've been pursuing outside of my work, specifically running, which I've made several videos here about running already, so you already know, having that kind of mental and physical outlet has also been just its own kind of journey, and I'm still on it. It all kind of comes back to, how I show up here, what I'm trying to do, how people view me sometimes, especially because I've come out and been like, I'm a freelance copywriter, I'm a freelance creative director. I mean, yes, I'm all of those things, but I'm also a person who loves trying different things, especially within the kind of creative industry. But I also love learning about myself. I love learning about how people work. I love learning about pretty much everything I find fascinating. I find that it's important for me to just understand and be open to understanding. I struggle to figure out where I belong in all of that, if at all. Here's my idea for 2025. Basically, I have 3 avenues that I've been going down as a freelancer and as a person. And one of those is video editing, one of those is copywriting or writing, and the other one is basically creative producing. And even though I would say I do way less creative producing currently, that is what I have done the bulk of my on-staff career, and even as a freelancer, that's what I've been doing the bulk of. So it's something that feels very familiar to me, but it's taken a backseat. I've invested a little bit more this year already in the writing aspect. If you follow me on some other platforms, my newsletter, LinkedIn, my website, Medium, these are all places that I have updated in the past month, some more regularly than others. And I think it's a place where I'm going to continue to try and put new content out. And it's just digging back into this freelance space, and also just thinking about my business, less in terms of being a freelancer and more in terms of being a solopreneur and, offering some different kinds of services. And that may just be writing. It may be some social media things that combine writing and video editing, maybe some content creation. I've just been in a weird, very motivated state
since the new year. That usually happens to me, but it's been interesting because I just kind of keep waiting for things to, I guess, for my interest to fade a little bit as I'm being challenged and moving forward in starting to do this and starting to be like, all right, well, I want to post once a week on this medium and I want to post once a week on that medium. So it's just kind of like every week I've got some things to do that are not currently bringing in income. And it's a little terrifying. Part of me showing up here is showing the reality of not just of my life as a person, but my life as someone who is, deeply invested in their work, deeply invested in doing better, and so just trying to get through things. So you'll be seeing me a lot more here. You'll be seeing me here a lot. And hopefully with a lot of different subjects, because I'm just excited I'm just very motivated right now. So it may fade. I expect it to fade, but I'm actually I'm 20 days strong, still moving forward and wanting to do things. I have no expectations for this year. I have not yet set any real goals. Obviously, I'm thinking about my business a lot. And so I'm curious if you are as well, or are you just like, I don't care, I'm just taking life day by day. No plans, no shirt, no shoes, no problem type of motto, way of life. I love that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.